Good Wednesday afternoon, everybody. This is going to be a quick one. I just want to highlight a couple of things, some important things about your capstone essay, your drafts. I provided feedback for you on the actual drafts, and you should find those in your Dropbox. So they're back in the Dropbox now. All of them, I hope, are there now. If you have any trouble seeing those comments, if you don't see writing in the margins and at the end and throughout, then you need to let me know, because for sure there's writing throughout. Keep an eye on that. A couple of things that I want to talk about relative to that. Most of them look really good. All of them look really. I mean, you're on your way. But acknowledging the fact that they're a rough draft, of course, is important, and they are rough drafts, so that means they need revision, your favorite thing to do. So let me give you a few tips in addition to what I've written, or maybe I'm actually being redundant, but many of you need to go through and think organization. So think in terms of, okay, I have all this great stuff, but where is the best place to put it? For many of you, I posted a link to a reverse outline technique that I really like. I also have a tutorial inside the capstone module on reverse outlining, and I'll send you there. You can go to some of the other resources. But by creating a reverse outline, you can see what's actually present in the paper. Excuse me. And then once you know what's there, then you can see where it fits, because sometimes people had this information in this paragraph, and then they say it again in this paragraph, but in a different way, or maybe it's the same thing, and you need more or stronger evidence. And then just aligning those pieces of evidence to work in unison to support your thesis, your proposal, your claim. So take a good look at that and make sure that the structure is good. Also, and I know I left you feedback on your intros, and you left one another feedback, all of that good stuff, but really think about how you establish that controversy prior to leading in. Gauge the interest of the reader. Open it. Think about how you would enter any sort of larger conversation. You want to get people interested in it. Many people don't know why you're having this conversation. All right. So give them a second to think about it. Having said that, don't tell your reader, in this paper I'm going to do, or I have done a lot of research, or in coming to terms with this is what I found. Eliminate that. Just pull it out. Just do it. Let the paper take its shape, and the reader will see those things happening as they read what you're presenting to them. Let them come to those conclusions. You don't need to tell them. Just let it be present. So those are the largest pieces that I found. The other is the integration of your outside sources, and all of you have, I mean, some great material, some good stuff to include. But as you bring things in, remember that you can't just say, Joe Smith says blah, 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 blah. Who's Joe Smith? Why do I care what Joe Smith has to say? Credential him, okay? Joe Smith, lead researcher in the psychology department at Harvard University, studied yada, yada, yada. Okay, so let the reader know that, and then offer it. Or say, even simplifying, saying, Joe Smith, researcher from Harvard University, believes, boom, if it's a direct quote or a paraphrase, whatever it might be. But I don't know who Joe Smith is. He could be like anybody off the street if you don't tell me where his authority falls relative to the information that's going to follow. Okay, maybe he's not a researcher. Maybe he's a parent of a child who suffered from a disease or whatever it is that you're writing about. Give them that moment. So, Joe Smith, father of heroin addict, blah, 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 right? So you're giving his authority relative to what you're about to present. And that's ethos building, that's credibility building. And then that also provides a smoother segue into that information. So just those are some small things to think about. As for the rest, I've given you a bunch of resources, some things to look at, structure, style, organization, review those. Remember, I don't need to see the final draft of these until November 3rd. Sorry, looking at the calendar. November 3rd at midnight. So you have a good long time to work on these, but that is because I know you need that much time to work on them. And I know it's been, we've hit that midterm piece where you're so done with everything. So hang in there. Keep searching through your hot topics. Next week, I'm going to post a little release over the weekend, your schedule for next week. But we're gonna start looking at some other arguments that exist, and that maybe that'll help you as you revise as well. And then we're going to start thinking about different ways of presenting arguments. So we've done written arguments, we've looked at academic arguments, but that's not the only place we receive or we're exposed to arguments. In fact, daily we see argument. This week's hot topic, of course, is a graphic. It's a visual, and so we want to look at that because those send great big messages to us. So we're going to continue that conversation. So start thinking a little bit about that. All right, folks, have a great day.